I guess we carry on. So, what the last quick recap of the last one? What was it? Meso changes. No, Meso changes from Inkwell's reboot not going through. Is this redirect? This does redirect. Yes, beautiful. Specifically, so Inkwell, leader of development for the West specifically, they finally realized that we need different things over here in the West than people in Korea need, because we have all of our people in Reboot. And in Korea, they had basically no one in Reboot. So there's a very shifted balance there in terms of what kind of game changes would be good for the game and for the community. So the main thing that they told us is that we're going to get some free stuff. Or, well, we got some free stuff, first of all. And the second thing is the max amount of Mesos players can earn while hunting monsters will not be adjusted. Availability of cubes and out potentials are obtained and adjusted also not. So this is for a whole GMS. Meso acquisition multiplier and the price of intense power crystals and heroic worlds is not going to be adjusted. And availability of Ursus will also not be adjusted. The biggest thing missing there, of course, is the final damage change that happened to the reboot servers in Korea because of the replacement or the addition of the Legion artifact system, which we'll talk about in another video soon. That was not mentioned there, and from what I heard so far, that is also not mentioned here. So, as planned, we keep expecting that to happen. That part at least. So be sure you keep that in mind. But we'll talk about that later a little bit. Hello, episode Global Maplestory, GMS for short. This is Hambio O, head of Western Development, also known as Inkwell, the guy whose face is on all of the big coins that you NPC for a lot of money. It's been about a month since I posted my first note, and that note I touched upon a future localization, direction of GMS, and how our service will begin to pave our own path. And when it caters to our particular situation and player base. After all, even though Korea Maplestory, or KMS for short, is where the game's content originates, our service has taken a vastly different turn. I discussed how I was thinking about the long-term direction of GMS, and how my plan is only in its infant stages. Even so, I couldn't just ignore pressing issues that needed to be addressed immediately, which is why I shared certain decisions that had been already finalized. We started our Maplestory Western project in February of this year, at which time we did a review of the service as a whole. While I shared things with you that have been confirmed in the previous Inkwell's note, I left out many things that were still being discussed, obviously. My intent was to not appear ambiguous about things that were still being decided, which is good, but it's also, I like that they're keeping like continuous communication going, and it's not like one note and then we don't hear anything from him for a year. So it's a good, in general, good evolution, I think. However, due to speculations that arose after the last note, I decided to post another note today to elaborate on some of the things players have been wondering about. Okay. Today, as head of the Western Development, I would like to focus on the game's design and development directions. After my observation of GMS at the start of this year, I decided to first start working on Heroic World. As I joined the decision-making process, I discovered that it can take drastic measures and a lot of persuasion to shift the service into the direction I envisioned. The new GMS players were worried about the future of GMS after seeing many of the recent changes in KMS, so I focused my response on highlighting the unique elements of GMS and finding a direction that focused on those. My previous note was a place for me to present my thoughts and thinking deeply about those things. As with any undertaking this ambitious, we ran into difficulties when executing our new plans, which led to delays in the second quarter roadmap, but I personally believe it was worth it. I'd like to extend my thanks once again for everyone for their patience. I mean, yeah, obviously, it's better to have it completely ironed out and do some ambitious shit than to get a roadmap out early and then have to, redo a bunch of stuff or add a whole bunch of things or, God forbid, subtract stuff in there. Because if they're not sure what they're going to do, they have to be purposefully vague in the roadmap. And then the roadmap is just, just a facade, basically. So it's better, I think, way better this way that they did it. Now, just as I focused on the issue close to the hearts of players of Heroic World in the previous post, I would like to take time today to talk about the issues closest to the hearts of players of Interactive World. So maybe some of the stuff that Nero talked about. Maybe. I'd also like to discuss a few details on some design choices in June's update. Interactive World. For Grandis, I'd just like to make one thing clear. I do not intend to make a one or the other selective approach towards this. It's not as if I'm thinking GMS really ought to focus on heroic worlds or GMS is really about interactive world. The two worlds clearly have different characteristics, and I want to home in on and take advantage of those differences. To home in on? Is it to hone in on? Maybe, I don't know that. Every sort of GMS with Scania and Barra friendships, accomplishments, and history of long-time Maplestory players exist in those worlds, and I believe they should continue to exist into the future. I think it's fine to have like a Barra channel or like 2 Barra channels and 2, just like per world channel of where your character used to come from that only people who used to come from that world can visit, and then have everything else in like common channels, right? I feel like that shouldn't be impossible to do, but however, as I observed interactive world during the Maplestory Western project, I wondered if players were truly interacting as smoothly as their world type's name implied. Yeah, I think wasn't that pretty much the argument from Nero? So several elements in the current structure of GMS Interactive World that could use improvement in its game design. Also, the trade system and economy should be the foundation of Interactive World, and in those systems too, as a place where we need to make improvements to live up to the identity of an interactive world. As such, I would like to address the following issues related to Interactive World. Okay. Trade restricted items. First, I would like to discuss trade restricted items. Several items in Interactive World are currently untradeable. Oh, this is going to be way more text than I thought. Identity vector work. This is weakening the flow of goods needed for both leveling up and maintaining healthy game economy. So probably talking about nodes and fragments, yeah. Took a close look at the history and reasons to these untradeable items in Interactive World. Most of them were made untradeable as a way to mitigate the effect of bot and macro accounts abnormally producing these items, but these restrictions seem excessive in the current environment, and I think the namesake interactive gameplay experience is more important. To decide, the bot farms are firing up already. Decide whether an item should be tradable or not. We'll need time to closely observe and analyze each item, taking into account the current service trends, the demand of each item, and the effect the supply has on the economy. This review process is currently ongoing. And what you have to keep in mind there, though, is that all of the interactive world economies are all completely in the shitter because of real money trading, essentially. However, there's one thing I can mention. As of this summer's update 251, newly obtained Soul Earth fragments and Node Stones items in Interactive World will be tradable. This will not include versions obtained from events. Okay, that makes sense. But that's good. I think, didn't they do that in Korea as well, like after a while? Like they were, I feel like in Korea they also weren't tradable in the beginning, but then after 6 months they were. I feel like that was already on the way, but maybe that's different. I don't know. Someone can tell me if that's not right. We do our best to internally, I guess this is for interactive, so I'm not 100% following that most of the time. Do best to internally track and manage any issues that could arise from this. And we'll continue to review other items that may need to be changed to tradable. Okay. Was tradable right away? Okay. Okay. I thought they were untradeable for a bit and then became tradable, but maybe there was just a certain type of them that became tradable that wasn't before. Maybe. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll think about something else. As I strove to understand, strove a word? I've never seen that word. He writes interestingly, like writes whoever like writes it, translates it, whatever. It's very different from everything we usually read. With the training economy in GMS Interactive World was so strained, I realized it was due to the unique service situation in GMS, one that is so different from other service regions. Part of the difficulty is that not so many people in each game world participate in economic activities. This is discussed earlier by Team GMS starting from late February, and would like to share my current thoughts about it. 2 things need to be accomplished. First, we need to ensure constant influx of new players, as a healthy economy requires a certain threshold of participants. Yeah, for interactive, that's tricky. And then we need to find ways to constantly encourage all players, both new and current, to be active in the economy. As such, a key part of Maplestory Western Project's long-term goal for GMS is to gain new players and increase retention in the game to be a beat in Interactive World or Heroic World. We're currently working towards that, but I'll talk about that in more detail in the future when it's ready to be revealed. Oh my god, we're going to go full live on TikTok right before it's getting shut down. Let's discuss issue in interactive worlds, world merge. If revitalizing the game economy of interactive world doesn't prove to be enough, we are considering a world merge. If we do go in that direction, it won't be a current worlds are kept as is, but they'll share a merged auction house type of situation. The last GMS world merge was in 2019. Oh my god, it's already 5 years ago. We had many game system changes since then, which is why there are several key technical issues that need to be resolved before a world merge could be executed well. The highest priority would be to resolve these technical issues first, then decide on a direction for the merge method and guarantee it can all be done with stability. This requires a large team of a large amount of development, maybe also a team, due to the sheer volume of the task. Plus, we need to ensure player data is handled with care. Therefore, instead of rushing into this, I want to make a decision after a comprehensive review with a focus on ensuring stability. If we do decide to move forward on this, we are tentatively looking at September 2025. Yeah, because they want to give the other stuff some time to work. Damn, it's still like a year and a half away. Okay, we're almost. I'll update you as soon as more in the future. So far, I've seen some things that Nero mentioned that they were in talks about, and then Frenzy Totem is also here. But somehow people get banned for like mentioning his name or something. You want to feel like maybe there was something else, and that the timing was just awkward. Because why would there be so much of what Nero said like being worked on, but then also you're not allowed to like mention it? That'd be contradictory, right? Anyway, moving on, I want to point out a current imbalance between players and interactive world regarding the experience of leveling and acquiring certain goods is not a problem that current players find frustrating, but is also a barrier to retaining new players. I'm referring to a topic of Frenzy Totem and interactive world. I believe the Frenzy Totem has been a bit of a hot potato in GMS interactive world for a long time. Not really. I mean, from the team it has been, but not from the community, right? Sensitive topic, but I believe I need to address it. And therefore you need to, right? Because it is a sensitive talk. My exhaustive review this February of the current Frenzy Totem, I observed that only a small number of players has them. Compared to the total number of players in interactive worlds, for how few Frenzy Totems there were, it sure had a massive impact on the game, and yet it was being utilized by only a select few. After the Frenzy Totem was released, Frenzy Totem service became common amongst players. Not only does this cause issues with the game's balance, but it also creates imbalance in the leveling experience between players. I'm sorry, but that is something that you 100% know when you make that item. That's the purpose of making that item. That's why, I mean, you had Kishin, we had other totems. Like, adding more spawn and making monsters appear more quickly is, of course, going to upset the balance of everything that it touches, especially if it's a permanent item. You know this when you are in the design process of the item. You can't pretend like this is like a shocking news or something. The imbalance intensifies after the sale of the Frenzy Totem stopped, as you couldn't get the item anymore. That's also, you know that. That's why you're doing it, right? It didn't just affect the leveling experience, it also generated game economy. Simply making adjustments to this item right now will only domino into a series of other issues, so instead we're reviewing plans to address this imbalance of opportunity and create a smoother supply and demand flow of key leveling items. Okay. Few alternatives are currently being reviewed, such as including the Frenzy Totem again in the Marvel Machine, or separately providing via sale items with similar features as the Frenzy Totem, plus other essential game goods. Oh, they're going to bring Wild Totems and Fury Totems back? Did they just change their minds about spawn enhancers? Well, when they got rid of it, yeah, but you can't say like, oh, we thought they weren't going to be a big deal or something. You should immediately know that if you give an item with unlimited extra monsters plus faster monster kill, that is going to give a huge benefit to that player into perpetuity, right? I mean, it's just describing a situation, but like that's really obvious to everyone, right? Few alternatives are currently being reviewed. Yeah, I would like to let you know that nothing has been confirmed yet, and this topic is still being reviewed. I feel like he already gives like some details and some ideas, even though it's not confirmed at all yet. So I think rather than leaving people up to speculate, it gives people more constructive thought about it. Maybe there'll be like, you know, actual conversation about it rather than just people speculating a bunch or saying, oh, they're not going to do anything anyway. I feel like in general, the way that he talks about these things and gives slight information already makes Nexon look better, at least. Like they're actively working on that stuff, and it's not just, we're just doing our thing and you guys will just get whatever we decided you get. Doesn't feel as much like that, so. They have an interactive world character. Yeah, I played there for like 7 years, so I had like strongest characters in the class whenever I played them back then. So if you go back now, they're absolute weak sauce and have like nothing. I have one character over 200. It's like 205, which was god tier back then, but is absolute trash now. Currently running an economic simulation of offering an alternative. We are also doing a technical review of server overload based on field mob spawn. Yeah, we know that Kishin did a lot of that. When they had to get rid of the botting problem with all the kanas, not necessarily because of the bad race or anything, but because of the servers being overloaded with the monster spawn, right? Considering impact, this is something we need to approach carefully to see if it's truly the best plan. No changes will be applied in the summer-June update. Yeah, that's obviously too early, because it's next week. We hope to announce the confirmed plan soon in September. All right, because September is going to be summer event over. Maple Rewards Shop. I'll let you know the Maple Rewards Shop will be revamped, not just in interactive worlds, but across all... Oh, not just in interactive... Okay. Across all worlds. What are we getting? Current Maple Rewards Shop has items that aren't as useful as they once were, leading to an unsatisfactory purchase experience for players. This is being revamped. We will debut the revamped Maple Rewards Shop in the summer update. The following items will be the new contents of the Maple Rewards Shop. Newly added bonus glowing cube, 5 a month. Okay, that's... I think that's one of the items that Niru mentioned, right? That he wanted in there. I think specifically. Android naming coupon. Item tag. Shielding ward. No limit. Is it... Right now the limit is like 5 or something, right? Or how many is it? Is it 3? Can I log on to my character just to check? One or 2? Oh god, is it that low? Hang on, let me check what is going on here. Wagwan. You know what this also means, right? If interactive starts doing better, that your reward points on reboot also will start getting more value by doing things on interactive with them. Trading them for Mezzo, trading the Mezzo when there's more supply and demand, which is also good, right? For more Maple points, and then use the Maple points on reboot to get more valuable stuff for free, like event passes and that kind of thing. Let me check the cash up real quick. Using the bridge between the servers where Maple points and reward points are shared, right? Because I don't play this server, but I have 82,000 reward points here. I guess my NX and my Maple points transfer over as well. So that is added value, even if there would be nothing else that changes with reboot. That would be quite a big difference as well. Okay, so what do they have here? Excuse me. Oh, none. We just don't have those in the reward shop at all. Wait, what do we have? Aura pendant, 2 golden hammers, platinum scissors. Oh, maybe I can't see them because of Belgium? That's actually possible. Maybe my cash app just looks scuffed because of that. Because of Belgian restrictions. Maybe? Maybe these give like an item that has a random in there or something. Or maybe I'm too low level. Yeah, I don't know. But this is for interactive world, right? Okay, so shielding ward, shield scroll, guardian scroll, return scroll. I don't even know exactly what those are. I know the differences between a shielding, a shield, and a guardian. Guardian might be that it can boom. Shielding that you don't lose a lose a slot if you fail, I guess. I don't know. It has to do with that stuff, right? It has to do with cubing, with either booming or with scrolling, which we don't have at all. But it's useful, and no limit means that you can do a lot of stuff with that. So we safety charm, purchase. Oh yeah, and purchase limit. Oh, so these are new. Yeah, and these are purchase limit change. So these items must be in if it says purchase limit change. But for some reason, I just don't have access to it. It might be because of Belgium might not have access to the items. Get fucked, us, I guess. And then just limit removed from all of these. Limit being removed from Miracle Circulator is really good timing as well, because of the invulnerability changes in Dreamer. And because otherwise, invulnerability rolling is a very expensive endeavor, from what I understand, in interactive worlds. So this could actually be a huge change for them. Yes, interactive, no limit. We already have it without limit. Rogue World's newly added beauty salon, hair and face, and pet snack. Okay, pet snack for reward points is nice. We could get more stuff, but it's a start. That's a good start. Yeah, this has been in the reward shop in interactive worlds for a long time, so being able to buy one of these per month is pretty big. Can get all your characters to eventually be able to hold 3 pets, right? Unlimited water of life, that would be nice. And then all worlds. Oh. 90-day transparent stuff? This is wild because they make a lot of money off of selling this stuff. And now they'll just give it. And there's 3. Oh, there it is, the water of life. Yeah, there's 3 pets in here. 3 90-day pets. 1 per month. 1 per month, and they're free 90 days. So you can have up to 9 characters have a pet at all times. So all of your boss mules will basically keep perma pets on just for buying once every 3 months on each of them, like buying one of the pets. That's pretty insane. Oh, did the note go away? Hang on. Sorry. Pin. There we go. And then the Waters of Life. I use a lot of these, I will say. I use a lot of these. And with these pets combined, you will use a lot of these. So this will actually stop cutting into my monthly Beam Brigade NX, which is nice. I'll tell you about other things we're considering next time. So they're considering more stuff. That's good. That's good. For now, I'd like to discuss some things about the summer update. Upcoming update GMS is now officially moving in the direction of providing the type of service that best suits the needs of our own service, or of our own consumers, I guess, right? With the summer update, Maplestory Western Project wants to make a public statement and mark a watershed moment for our GMS service. Therefore, while the GMS update this June will be based on the KMS Streamer update, it won't follow the update as is. GMS will move forward with its own update. The update name and slogan will also be different than that of KMS Dreamer. We've reimagined the name and slogan of the update to celebrate this milestone. Stay tuned, as we will be announcing it on our official website in a few days. Okay. You got Mushroom Head Boys. What is that in the background? Is that the Statue of Liberty? Is that a mushroom Statue of Liberty in the background? We're going full America? Okay. Contents of the summer update. P251, P252 is previously revealed in the Q2 roadmap. I'd like to clarify a few things to help Maplers understand some details. NLC content? Yeah, that immediately made me think of NLC as well, right? The big statue in the background. Excuse me. Base system. For those of you who haven't seen the previous Inkwell note, and for those of you who weren't sure what to expect, oh, they're repeating it here. I want to touch on the subject once more. As mentioned in the previous note, its own specs, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, the things I mentioned in the beginning. So no meso cap like KMS got, no different cubing system like KMS got with its own prices and its own costs and all that. Meso acquisition multiplier and the price of intense power crystals not changing because that was cut from the 5x that they had in GMS. We have 6x, they had 5x, and that was cut to just 1x. This does specifically not mention the price cut of the drops that also happened in KMS, where the value of things like primal essences, rocks of time, that kind of thing were also cut into 5. That is not specifically mentioned yet here, so that's something to keep in mind as we keep reading this and throughout the game that hopefully doesn't slip in. And then Ursus was also removed in Korea, but they're not going to do that for us. Epic Dungeon High Mountain. High Mountain is new content added in KMS Dreamer update number 3 and is high-level content for 266 job. Characters in GMS for making the Epic Dungeon playable starting with Summer update number 1. Okay, they're jumbling it up. Okay. So players can obtain the perks of the content quickly. I believe you'll enjoy accelerating your growth as quickly as possible with large amounts of EXP and Soul Order related rewards. So in KMS, this was an extra resource of fragments. However, in regards to the Maple Coin system, which was first introduced in KMS Dreamer Epic content, after internal review with Team GMS, we have decided not to introduce the Maple Coin system for GMS in this update. Okay, so not yet. So it might still come, but it's not going to be part of this. For people who don't know, basically in KMS what they did was they gave you coins as a reward instead of money, but then you cannot just exchange the coins for money. You have to sell the coins and then pay a Maple Point fee, so like a real money fee, or Maple Points, that you get through the auction house, and then with that fee you can unlock your money. Basically, that was a way to combat botting and stuff like that in Korea, but yeah, it's kind of wild because then you could pay with a pass to get more rewards in interactive worlds, and then you had even more that you had to sell and all that. So they're not going to release it just yet, so they might still do it, or what I'm thinking is that they're probably going to release that system for us, the Maple Coin system, but they're going to make it slightly different for us. And until they know exactly how they're going to make that different for us, they're not going to release it yet. I think that might also mean that if they do that, because they're saying in this update, they don't say we're not releasing it. So that does make me think that maybe some meso restructuring of where the money is coming from might still be happening, but they're just going to be doing it differently. Is what that reads like to me. I'd like to provide some additional insight on this, so maybe we'll get some detail here. The reason why Maple Coin is not currently being implemented has a lot to do with GMS maintaining its own specs and base system mentioned above. Unlike with the KMS Streamer update, the GMS environment will not be implementing a cap on mesos earned. We'll continue to maintain a high meso acquisition multiplier in Heroic Worlds, and we'll continue to maintain the Ursus content as a meso source. Therefore, we decide that the Maple Coin system in the KMS Streamer update, which was put into place to account for the removal change of the above systems, was not suitable for GMS. Makes sense. To get a positive gameplay experience, we're removing Maple Coins from the rewards and replacing them with Soul Urda fragments. You know what? It's a huge sacrifice, but I am totally okay with that. Which are essential for leveling up, thereby keeping the rewards in alignment with the direction of the GMS gameplay experience. We will keep an eye on the role of the Maple Coin system in future KMS content update trends. If at some point in the future we feel that the use of Maple Coins in GMS would be a positive addition to the gameplay experience, we're open to considering it in a way that best fit our service environment at that time. However, at least for now, Maple Coins will not be introduced to GMS. Okay, so kind of the way I thought it, but a little bit more of an admission already that it's not actively being considered even in a different way. It's just not at all being considered until the game in Korea changes too much, and it could be a beneficial change to GMS. I don't know where you guys are at with all of this, but I like this way of communicating and the in-depth and how much information there is in here. I feel like too many times we get notes and memos and stuff like that where it's like, we've decided this, and it's like one paragraph and it's done, and it like sucks. But now it's like, hey, we're thinking about this. Here we have already reached a decision. Here we haven't reached a decision yet. It depends on this and this. Like this is like a million times better than anything that we've been able to read from them. I think in like the last maybe decade, for me. But like, because I'm trying to be careful with some of these things, right? I'm like kind of hedging my my optimism because I've been playing this game for way too long, right? Almost 2 decades. But they're covering their bases, and it does seem like it's not warranted. But we'll always stay vigilant. In his thought, not just we do this, he says we do this because of it. Yeah, and like that's what I'm always at. This is why people have been at odds with like my opinions on things a lot, is because I usually don't really care what they do. I care more about what their reasoning is for it. But a lot of times we never see the reasoning, so we just left speculating. But now we see a lot of the reasoning why. So I like that. To me, that's a million times more useful than just saying what they're doing. Okay, then addition of Grandis continent familiars. Can we get a praise in the chat? Because our prayers have been answered. You no longer have to go back into Limina when you can't really make money there anymore. You're getting node stones that you don't need at that point. You can't get any fragments. You have to decide either you go for familiars that never hit, or you get fragments that will hit as long as you get enough of them. So it looks like they're highlighting Cernium here. So they might be like starting to ease the transition for the new people coming into the game with the Dreamer update. So we might still have to go back, quote unquote, but a lot of you are probably still doing Cernium dailies anyway. So if you just turn that into a longer daily, let's see. There have been ongoing requests from GMS players to add familiars to the Grandis continent. That's probably the understatement of the century. This update, V52. Okay, so July. So not for the summer, but after the summer. Adds familiar drops to the Cernium area of the Grandis continent. So Cernium and Burning Cernium. Okay, so everything under 265. Wait, what's the highest level? What's the highest level monsters in Cernium? Does it go up to 264 or does it go up to like 269? Usually the monsters are like 4 or 5 levels higher than the highest level for the area, right? Oh yeah, they changed it to 265. So are the monsters up to 264? Yeah, 264. Okay. Now that means you can go there for a pretty decent level. Dude, I just leveled all my characters to 260 there. Oh. No worries. After this update, we'll continue to consider updating familiar cards to the other Grandis areas sequentially. Okay. So kind of like I said before, like with the Cernium familiars, they don't really need to add them anywhere. They will throw them in, like to either like give us a feel like we got a W, right, or to help balance the game and make sure that the game doesn't like bottleneck anywhere. But they don't like have to do it for the sake of our progression because we're already stronger than Koreans will be at any given point. Especially now, the difference with how strong people are going to be in heroic servers versus reboot is going to start growing tremendously, right? So beware though, because all of this is like very, very positive sounding, and the game is going to be different. There might be changes coming where it's like, oh, we're going to get the same boss, but maybe the boss is going to have like double the HP that it does in Korea. Because they don't want to inhibit like the gameplay and the progress and the values that exist, but they might have to adjust some other things to maintain some type of balance, right? So keep that in mind for all the things in the future. That we're on the plus now. We're like going very, very high in the multiple pluses. So there might be some minus in other areas compared to Korea, and that's not just a nerf or just something to kick us in the balls, but that's something to counteract this, right? GMS special event in line with the slogan of the new update. I've prepared some small events to thank you for your support and patience with the GMS service. Again, smooth. Dude, we're already buttered up, okay? You already gave us so much shit. Participate in events to earn exclusive rewards. The campaign will start in a summer update on June 12th. My birthday. Dude, I told you guys, my birthday present to you would be a good update. Closing remarks. Since the last Inkwell's note, I've been overwhelmed by your support and by your love for Maplestory and for free stuff. Don't forget that. And now for Grandis familiars, In fact, we should say Cernium fams, okay? In fact, for a month after that, there were both internal and external dilemmas that undermined the plans and the approach that I and the Team GMS developers were pushing for. Being able to announce today's note, as well as this last note, involved a lot of good faith and convincing. Nevertheless, I imagine, because from everything we understand, it's a very rigid structure, and like coming in and then just saying like we're gonna just do this thing differently. That's probably takes a lot of convincing. I can understand that part. Nevertheless, I believe it's right to overcome these difficulties if it means making the game better. I don't want to compromise and take the easy path. I want to remain on the right path, even if it's difficult and takes time. Hope for your continued support. Everyone on Team GMS has been hard at work preparing for the summer update. I'm grateful that so many Maplers are interested in and love what we do. To thank all of our players for the patience and in anticipation for the new update and all the future changes to GMS, I've prepared a small gift. What constitutes of a small gift these days? 2 magnificent growth potions, just as you do. A growth potion selector coupon, only 1. Just kidding. 10 experience node stones. A 500 arcane/100 sacred symbol selector coupon. A Fairy Bros damage skin selection box, not unit. Don't get carried away, guys. Okay, not unit. And Street Smart sunglasses, of course, from that Inkwell is known to rock. Where are my glasses? I forgot where are my glasses, bro? Do I look like Nero's profile picture now? I feel like he has a profile picture somewhere where he looks just like this. White guys, we all look alike, right? Okay, and then claim period. I can barely read this. Claim period 5/29/2024. Okay, so this is going to be available now. Relog, everyone. No, this is available in some hours. So tomorrow this should be available. Why cool glasses? Dude, I can barely read stuff on my screen with this on. And they will be available until the start of the summer update. How to claim, talk to the Maple administrator, NPC in the event hall. Right? Event hall is available through Town Map's quick travel. For the people who don't know, you go to Town Map like Genesis. You select quick move, not quick travel. And then you use the dimensional mirror, and then you select, oh god, it's so hard to see with this shit on. Event hall, there it is. Then you click move, and then you talk to the lady, the Maple administrator, and then last time at least it was under talk to the Maple administrator, and then Inkwell's thank you gift was right here. Right there. Okay. Oh god, everything is so bright. Light mode. This is what you guys feel like, huh? You guys watch everything on dark mode, so this is like your standard. And then you guys see my screen and it's like, what the? You guys got flashbanged. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then requirements: character must be level 101 plus, or 0 characters must have completed story quest act 2. Rewards claimable once per account. Imagine if this was per character. This would be nutso. Thank you for reading this long post. I think for bearing with me reading this written long post. Hope you look forward to a more enjoyable Maplestory coming this summer. As much as you trusted and waited for us, we'll return the favor. Hambiolo, head of Western Development with Team GMS. And oh, this guy in the corner right here. He's like chilling out. This guy is also part of the dev team, right? Yeah, is KMS mad? I bet they're mad. Still don't trust him. Trust has to be earned over time, but it does seem like he's trying to... I mean, it does seem very overwhelmingly that they realize where the power of their people, the players lies, right? Like where we want to play, what kind of stuff we're looking for. and it seems that they're actively listening to and at least addressing those topics, not just shunning away, just avoiding certain topics altogether. It would have been nice if he had mentioned at all Niru, maybe, like in name. Maybe they're going to do that in just like a separate post or something, but it's weird to me to mention so many of the things that Niru touched on, like with his trade restriction, world merge, frenzy totem, reward shop. I feel like those were like the 4 things that he talked about, right? Wasn't there 4 things? I feel like that were the things. So they're addressing, I think, like one-to-one everything that he mentioned. But then also they're not mentioning himself. I guess they don't want to set a precedent for people to, like anyone else is crazy enough. I love you, Nero, but like anyone is crazy enough to just rank to 300 so that they can finally make some demands that they get listened to. No one else is gonna do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. In the ancient words of that one black lady in that clip, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. Or the desire to. I guess I have the time, technically, but... Yeah, and Vera... Dude, I still... dude, yeah, I met Vera, like, because of Maple Fest and everything. It's such a nice guy. Such a sweet dude. And then... to feel like he just gets thrown under the wagon because... I guess they were actively working on this, and they were probably instructed to not even mention anything about it, but it just feels so unnecessary to be so cutthroat on that. Miss Vera, Miss Ezra, yeah, they were both there. They were our 2 GMs, like our 2 main dudes during Maplefest, and within 6 months they're both gone. It's like so wild. They don't want to give people the idea that it works. Yeah, I guess so, but. I mean, standing up for what you believe in or what you think is necessary for the game to do something, I feel like that should be rewarded. I guess it is, I don't think anyone sees this as like, oh no, this has nothing to do with like what Nero was talking about or the amount of a publication, the amount of like attention and stuff that the whole situation got. That has nothing to do with it. Obviously it does, right? Like you can see all of the things that they addressed here. It's very direct. I'm a fan of the unlimited premium waters of life, I will say. Now, only thing we need is 1 per month vac pet revive. Make it expensive, like obviously make it like 30,000 or something, so that you need to play the game a lot. But if they add the option of like keeping your pet alive with reward points, I'm telling you, not only is it going to make people play way more because they want to get the 30k for free, which would be more playtime than what $10 would actually buy you. Plus, because people have the availability to get it for free, way more people will buy vac pets, and as a result, it'll be a win-win. I don't know if they're considering it, but I don't see a galaxy in which that's not a win for everybody involved. If they do 1 vac pet water of life in there, and they can make it expensive, like really expensive, like 25, 30k, something like that. I think that would be the play. But I think they put the regular pets in and this in. Yeah, this is wild. This feels like something that probably would have already been in there 5 years ago. But sometimes I forget how many years have gone by, right? Like they said, oh, the last time we did, what was it? Was it Totems? Oh, the last World Merge was in 2019. I'm like, oh my god, it's already 5 years ago? Dude, time flies. It's crazy. We don't know how much it will cost? Nope, that's still a question. I mean, it has no limit, but there's probably not going to be something that you could just buy for every character in your account every month. That's definitely not going to be the case. But yeah, I mean, you guys can speculate in the comments in YouTube right now. Tell me how much do you think this stuff will cost? Water of Life, pets, how much do you think it will cost? Give us some numbers. Let's see who's right. This gives us some predictions. Yo, Epic Dungeon not having the coin system is a W, and having more fragments is like a quadruple U. What's the double W? That's the quadruple U, right? Um, that's a whole lot of V's just like smacked together, or U's, I guess. Yeah, I'll take extra fragments, dude, all day long. You know how hard it is to build out like a hexa matrix on 5 or 6 characters when you have to grind them all out, and half the characters don't even have drop rate gear. Like, damn, bro. Yeah, give us some free fragments. I'll take those. Those bossing mule stonks are way up, by the way, because now we know that they're going to keep making money, and hexa matrix growing faster, and mastery core, and high mountain coming in part 1 of the update. But, you know, part of me is still like, this is so much positivity. I'm just waiting for like the other flip flop to drop, you know, because I wear flip flops indoors. Makes more sense than shoes, you know. Don't wear shoes indoors, guys. Don't do it. All right. I'll drag in a whole bunch of dumb shit. Speaking of flip flops, where the hell? Oh, I don't even have them here. So. Yeah, it just seems like too much plus now that not only am I expecting like some less than perfect news, I'm also going to be okay with that. So it could also be that they're just priming us for that. But let's all stay fair and balanced and all of that. That we understand that this is putting us at a great advantage, and that there will be some other stuff that is maybe not happening in Korea. There's some upsides and there's some downsides to having a different patch, right? Some things might take longer to get to us, for example. Some things might not be released at the same time within the same update, and might come later because they have to be adjusted more, right? Something like that. So keep that in mind, and stay fair and balanced in that review of all the things that are coming. But definitely, this is another big line of great news. So let me know what you guys are most excited about in this. And why is it no limit for respawn tokens in interactive servers? Because that's obviously top of the list. So yes, with this and with the last, just to reiterate what I talked about in the beginning, there is still the matter of perhaps the item drops that are valuable getting cut in value. Those are never addressed anywhere. I've already reached out to the community manager, to Jade, to make sure that that gets remembered as a point when the update does go through, that is something that hopefully doesn't happen, perhaps accidentally, automatically, in just like copy pasting of the code. But the second thing, which is still most likely coming, that I do want to make sure that everyone stays aware of, is this is plus 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 plus. One of the minuses that's most likely coming is the final damage drop in the reboot passive, right? I am planning on making a video on that, but like what happened in Korea, oh boy, this moved. Here we go. What happened in reboot? This is most likely coming because we are getting the Legion artifact system that was announced in the in the roadmap. Yes, in the roadmap, this was announced. And that is basically present as a counter to that, to not give us too much extra damage than we're already getting, is the final damage passive changing quite a bit. So as you can tell, early on, just grinding characters up to 200 is going to be quite a bit more difficult. But most people are playing in this area. So going from 145%, from 165%, sorry, to 145% final damage is about a 12.12 repeating final damage loss. So almost like 1 in 8 of your damage gone, right? So if you're hitting 1 bill lines, you're going to hit 878 mil point, scratch it, damage. That is most likely coming. So I plan to make a more in-depth guide and specific information on the Legion artifact system, how you can prepare for that coming nerf to make sure that you can, mitigate those negative results as much as possible. So stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you for watching this part, at least. Let me know what you're excited about, and here's to hopefully a good summer update, and a future of them making a game for us as the players that we are looking forward to. And yeah, we'll see if they keep doing that. But I'm loving the communication, at least. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for checking it out.